Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and I want to make this quick commentary because I hope it will be quick, but I wanted to ask the community about this. Now, I'm going to need your help a little bit and just to share your experiences of any kind. If anybody, hey, if you can provide proof, that would be awesome, but even if not, if you are able to, pinpoint anything like this, because I've honestly never heard of this. I've never really sought it out at the same time. But I was kind of thinking of what might be the most reliable game system out there, out of all the game systems that have been available at one point or another. Now, this is something that I've asked people for the past year or so, it just kind of randomly pops in my head, and I ask people who modify systems, who repair systems, and they come back to me and they say, they tell me I can't think of a time where I've seen this system be truly broken. And what system might that be? I personally think it might be the Nintendo 64. Now, I don't know if there would be any other system that has been as widespread as that console that is also the most reliable at the same time. But first off, if you've ever opened up a Nintendo 64, those things are rarely ever, completely caked up with gunk or anything. Now, those things have so many components and parts on them, non-moving parts, mind you, but so many layers to get down to the actual motherboard that even when I messed around with a dirty Nintendo 64, I didn't even clean the motherboard because the motherboard was absolutely spotless. And then even with repairs, I've heard some people say, I couldn't power up my N64, but I have never heard of anybody who could not get past that without, replacing their power supply. Most of the time, because it had a separate power supply, they just unhook their broken one, hook up a new one that they buy for $10 or $15, and the thing works. Audio video issues, I've also seen some people, they might have had some audio video issues, and most of the time that's been the cable. Actually, all the times I've seen, it's been an issue with the cable. Even there's other times where some people might hook up everything and they know it works, but the system doesn't power on or anything like that. And another common thing has been, either a cartridge slot issue or even where the expansion pack or I don't remember what it was called, but the jumper pack might be. And I was actually kind of prompted with that because this was months ago, but I had seen this video where a guy bought like 10 or 11 quote-unquote broken, untested Nintendo 64s, and you know what was wrong with them? 10 out of the 11 systems did not have a jumper pack or an expansion pack, because every single system he popped a expansion pack or a jumper pack into, the thing booted right up. It played a game, all 4 of the controller ports worked, it worked properly, it displayed video on screen, everything like that. So I'm trying to sit here and think about it, and even when people have said, they have the proper cables, and they have either an expansion pack or a jumper pack installed in there, they might not be able to play a game properly or anything like that. That's even been, just kind of blowing some compressed air into the cartridge slot, and it works after that. I've never heard of anybody having to do a major hard repair on their Nintendo 64 from just general use. Now, granted, if you take your N64 and you throw it out of a 5-story building and it hits the cement and gets run over by a car, sure, then it's going to be broken, but I'm just talking here about regular use. I'm talking you have it sitting at your desk or you have it sitting in your entertainment center, and at one point, it just bricks. I've never heard of that ever. As I've said, any type of power issues, I've normally heard them get resolved by just replacing the power supply. Audio video issues, replacing the cable. Any type of boot up issues, cleaning your cartridges, cleaning the cartridge slots, or putting in a jumper pack or an expansion pack, anything like that. But aside from that, I've never heard of anything that had to, be a component level repair or replacing anything internally in the systems. And there's been several other systems as well too that have been quite reliable but have still, broken down. I know the PlayStation 1, I personally thought they were pretty reliable. A lot of other people are going to, debate that as well too. I know for the most part, several people said they weren't reliable. Like, some of the lasers might have been messed up. I've never had issues with my own that weren't caused by my own faults. Some other systems as well, like Sega systems, I've encountered broken Sega systems. I know somebody who has a broken Sega CD. I bought a broken Sega Saturn, and even cartridge systems, I bought 2 broken Sega Genesis systems. Now, one of them wasn't truly broken, it just needed to be cleaned, but the other one, I had to go in and I had to resolder the power supply on there and reflow the solder there, and after that worked, after I did that, it worked just fine. Granted, it was an extremely easy install and, repair, but that was still a component level repair that I had to do, and if I did not possess the necessary solder skills, I probably would not have been able to fix that. But going back to the Nintendo 64, never seen an issue with it. And even the other system, the system that came right after it, well, the more popular system, because I guess technically no, the Virtual Boy, I think that came out in 95. And yeah, I just looked it up, the Virtual Boy did come out in 95. So the system that came out after that, the GameCube, I've heard that to be honestly one of the most reliable. That might be the most reliable system out there that uses optical media. Because even with that as well, too, I know they've done tests where they have tried to, break these systems and all that by dropping them off, X amount of story buildings and all this stuff, but that's still, implicit damage there. But granted, I know that there are faulty GameCubes out there just due to the fact that it is, it's movable parts and everything, and it's a optical drive system, so at one point, the laser might burn out, something like that. But again, final thought going back into this, the Nintendo 64, out of all my years, looking at systems, checking out broken systems, all that stuff, aside from, just doing a little bit of cleaning, maybe even slightly internally, but not even opening up the system, or just replacing some type of external component, I have never heard of, and I've never come across one, but I've never even heard of a truly broken Nintendo 64 just from daily driver use. Let me know if you all have heard of anything like that, or if you agree or disagree, because even if there are broken systems out there, I still probably consider this to be the most reliable game system out there, because I don't hear about it. It's something, it's been out for, 20 years at this point now. It's hard to believe it's 20 years, and I've never heard of them being truly broken. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Let me know if you all know anything about this.